3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the SuperSpeedway.
Welcome to episode 201 of the SuperSpeedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going tonight?
Good, man. We're not live. We're just doing a regular episode, so the butterflies are not as frequent as they were last week.
Yeah, now we can just screw off like normal.
Yeah, right. Pretend like we're doing something. Yeah.
Right. So let's we aren't doing live, but we're still doing video. I do apologize for anybody who does watch this on YouTube. I didn't upload the YouTube video last week, but you can go to the Facebook page and see the live feed there. If you want to rewatch, it's still available. But we're on YouTube again this week, provided I actually took the time to do the editing and put it up this week. So let's fingers crossed. If you're watching this, then you know that we did. So as a result, we're going to do our normal show and tell. Let's well, you know what, James, let's do this.
It's our newest gimmick, show and tell.
Do you want to save show and tell to the end when we do shout outs and stuff?
Let's save show and tell.
All right, let's move it to the end. That way people don't have to stick on if they want to. And if you want to see our show and tell, I think I got a decent one this week. You guys will like it. So.
I think doing show and tell at the end is actually a good idea. We can do
that. I think it fits in. I meant to do that this week, and this is one of those things we could have actually planned in advance. And right now, honestly, James, we could stop and re-record this. But I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is.
No, it's good with the tease.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of show and tell, let's talk about the race this weekend, James, or all four of them.
Yeah,
5 if you count ARCA, but we're not talking about ARCA tonight.
Well, it's 6 if you count SRX. So
yeah, that's right.
We will talk about a little bit about SRX.
That's right. We are not an SRX podcast, but we are a racing podcast, so we will talk about SRX.
We are an SRX podcast for another 3 weeks, my man. So hang in there.
I don't know. I might veto that. No. But to start it out, let's talk some cup racing first. We had 2 cup races this weekend. It was the Pocono doubleheader. We started things off on Saturday with the Pocono Organic CBD 325. And we were pretty sure coming into the last turn, we were going to be talking about Kyle Larson winning 4 points races in a row. And potentially even 5 in a row if he would have won on Sunday. And then cuts down a tire, James.
Yeah. Wow. What a, I don't know. Eric, I was at Michigan. This was 12 years ago now when Mark Martin won the race after 2 guys lost fuel on the last lap.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember if I've seen a last lap issue like that since then. But man, that was something. First of all, the battle with Bowman was fantastic.
Yes, it was
just great battling between those 2 guys and which Hendrick car was going to get it first. And then, Kyle Larson's cruising. Rick Allen's calling it, going through the history, and all of a sudden Dale Jr. screaming, and we've got a car on the wall. What a finish. If you're at Pocono, you can't ask for much better than that, I don't think.
No, and I mean, honestly, we can hit on both races if we want to, or we can break them down individually. We'll kind of talk about them individually, but I mean, 2 very compelling races at Pocono, 2 great finishes at Pocono, which you don't see very often.
Yeah, I think Jeff Gluck's pole had them both in the 80s, Eric.
That's incredible.
Which is for a Pocono. Maybe this is a good point to talk about. This is our first real look at what a double could be.
Yeah,
and with fans and
almost.
Eric,
Almost. The only thing we're missing is practice and qualifying, because I do get that back.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And I was just thinking, the campgrounds were full. The stands looked pretty full for a full weekend of racing. And then you get 2 shows like this, which were both, you can't ask for, when you're going to Pocono, you don't ask for much.
Right.
It's definitely not our favorite track, but
the bar is pretty low.
Yeah, but to get what we got on Saturday and Sunday, and heck, even the undercard was good too with the trucks and Xfinity. I thought those were pretty good races too. So Pocono put on a good show, man, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion here because let's first of all, this is the first real look we've had at a doubleheader, like you said. Yeah. First one with fans, but this is the 3rd time we've done the doubleheader in the Cup Series. Now we did it at Michigan last year, we did it at Pocono last year, and I think both those races last year we saw 2 very similar races. Yep. Harvick dominated both races at Michigan. You saw the same cars as front runners at Pocono last year with Denny Hamlin and and Kevin Harvick swapping those two races, which was kind of the story of the season as well.
Yeah.
This weekend was not like that, in that it was two very different groups of people that were racing up front for the most part. I mean, there were Hendrick cars in the mix, but for the most part, and I mean, Kyle was there as well, but still it was Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson.
The Kyles.
Yeah, but they were very different. But my unpopular opinion is going to be still that we shouldn't be doing this. I was really a big fan of the doubleheader when we talked about the concept, and I don't know, man, it's too much to have 2 days of cup racing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go the other way, and say if we're going to do it, let's do it at Pocono. Let's do it at Atlanta. Tracks like that where it might make sense to do a double to make some more room in the schedule. I'm for that. We were talking about the ratings today, Eric, in our group chat, and I wonder if the TV partners are going to be okay with more than one. I just think the Pocono double is going to be the Pocono thing that we're going to have moving forward, because the drop off is literally 1 million viewers from Saturday to Sunday. When you run a cup race on Saturday afternoon, you're losing 1 million people, and the TV partners, they probably expect it. That's why we're not running Thursday night races too. Right. I just wonder if this is just going to be unique to Pocono, and if that's it, then so be it. I am all for them doing this once a year if this is the Pocono gimmick for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm not saying get rid of it, but it was too much for me. Now the other thing I'll say though is that if we do get rid of it, I don't want to go back to 400 miles here. I like I think the 325 was perfect. 350 was pretty good. These shorter races are the way to go, man. And unfortunately, we're just not going to get it like we want to have it everywhere.
Yeah.
So if the doubleheader gets us that, then keep it.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was nice to see two races that weren't the same. Back to the first race, back to the Saturday race. Kyle Larson, we talked about the battle with Alex Bowman there at the end of the race. Larson ends up getting the lead with a couple laps to go, and looks like he's going to stretch it out, and then cuts down the tire in the last turn. I think pretty easy to make the argument that the reason that Larson cut that tire down probably was that battle, don't you think, James?
Yeah.
How hard he was running.
Yeah, he definitely put the pressure on it, and running the high speeds for the corners like they are at Pocono now is with the with lower horsepower, you're just carrying more speed, and definitely put some strain on that tire. Unfortunately, it was just a corner and a half too short. So
right. And it was the left front tire, and a lot of the discussion was that he was being aggressive in the tunnel turn. He was hitting the apron in the tunnel turn, and that's what may have likely cut it down. So
it's heck of a battle and heck of a finish, but and I think that race overall, Eric, I'm looking at the numbers really quick. I guess I didn't realize we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers lead double-digit laps. That's really cool for Pocono. You had Larson and Kyle Busch led the most, but Bowman, Byron, Hamlin. You had Kurt Busch up there and Joey Logano too. So that was pretty cool. We had some guys dicing back and forth, and had a couple of big crashes. So Saturday had a little bit more action going on, I think, earlier in the day. But yeah, it's just. I keep thinking, when I think about this race, I think this is one we'll probably always remember for whatever reason. You don't see this very often. It's very unique.
Yeah, I agree. Pocono is one of those tracks, man. It either puts on a great show or puts on a snoozer. There's just no in between here at all for some reason. I don't know what it is about this place.
Yep.
I mean, it's a track that I love coming to, even if the races are boring, because there's no other track in the world like it. I mean, it's a special place.
Absolutely.
James, you have, and I didn't know what you were talking about in the notes when you put "let's talk about noses." Then I listened to a good chunk of door bumper clear today, and word on the street is that NASCAR might have had one of those moments last weekend where they saw some stuff in tech inspection with the Hendrick cars and just said, okay, you guys aren't breaking the rules, but if you come back like this next week, you will be.
Yeah.
And
the old the most famous version of this is the T-Rex car
T-Rex.
that that Jeff Gordon and Ray Evernham put together for the All-Star race, and NASCAR said, "This is in the rules, but don't you dare bring this back next week." That's for so yeah, that's the famous version of this. But yeah, it just seems like I mean, it didn't stop. This all happened before Saturday. That's why I put it in that part of the notes. But yeah, it does seem like, I don't know, Eric, what do you think about this? You know, a rule's a rule. I don't know if I mean, if it's within the rules, why can't they run it the way they want to?
Well, and
I
that's
don't understand it.
It was within the rules, and they did run it, and they didn't get penalized for it. NASCAR just said that let's not do like that anymore, and whatever they changed, they gave them advance warning, which is good. I don't have any issue with that.
I don't know. Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that we've got I'm trying to.
You're going to say that they're manufacturing things, but then we're gonna talk about SRX later, and you're going to say that it's okay. It's okay that Tony Stewart runs half throttle, so the race is compelling in his.
Well,
series.
yeah, that's a different. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. No, I'm trying to give it a comp to, like, I don't know.
NASCAR has done this historically, though. That's the thing. This is not new that they've done this.
I know. I just like clear balls and strikes being called, not. You know how I feel.
But these guys all work in the gray area. That's the problem.
Right,
NASCAR can't make clear balls and strike calls.
Yeah. So, and you know how I feel about wishy-washy rules. It's always been kind of a, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of been.
And yet you're a NASCAR fan.
I know. So it's my own. It's a hell of my own making. So, you're right. You're right there. I just, I saw that story, read it, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if they're within the rules, they should be allowed to run it, but. I mean,
we don't know anything for sure. There's not been anything confirmed. None of the media has talked about it, or at least hadn't previously. But this was the word on the street, is that there's some nose issues.
Yeah, Pac had it going in the press conference a little bit, but there was nothing, not much being said after that. So I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're within the rules, keep running it. What are they going to do? Like, what are they going to say? This isn't allowed, or are they just going to change the rules on them? I guess that's what NASCAR could do, I guess.
Yeah.
To say, hey, you fix this, or we're changing the rules, because really that they can do that. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, did it make a difference? Kyle Larson almost won the race. And then, as much to the chagrin of the rest of the field, Larson ends up crashed on the last lap, and guess what? Hey, there's another Hendrick car.
Hey, Hendrick car's there. Yeah. So, Bowman was up there. Bowman led a lot that on the day. I guess Bowman walked away with the most points on the day. So the Hendrick cars are fine, but I will say the Gibbs cars, and Kyle alluded to this on Sunday. Kyle said he felt like they were there with them. If Hendrick was a 10 out of 10, Gibbs was a 9.95 out of 10.
Well, it's that reduced weight from not all the parts being in the transmission makes them a little faster.
Yeah, all those shavings. Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. You mentioned, I mean, so Larson ends up finishing ninth. He ends up ninth after this one. William Byron right there finishes third. He ran well all day. 13 laps led. Alex Bowman leads 16 to get the win, and had a strong car. So I don't know if we should feel too bad for those Hendrick cars, James.
No, I don't know. You know, I was going to say too, real quick, before we move off this race, Alex Bowman just keeps finding wins. I don't know how he does it.
He's not won a traditional race, has he?
He's never really dominated. Not this season, I don't think. He hasn't dominated by any means. But yeah, right place, right time. And kudos to him for the lane choice on that last restart. I mean, he put himself in position, and he lost the lead to Larson, but Larson had a problem, and that's racing. You're going to have problems from time to time. So
I mean, good deal. A lot of credit to his crew too, to keep him motivated at the end when he got passed, because he could have very easily just thrown his hands up and given up, but stayed in it and had the opportunity for the win when Larson broke. So
exactly.
How about Cole Custer and Brad Keselowski? Little mishap there on the front stretch. Custer ends up turning the wall.
Yeah, that was a big hit. Yeah. Brad took full blame and said as much, but
door bumper clear kind of was putting it on Custer a little bit, in that apparently the same thing happened with Bubba last year at Phoenix. That Custer kind of makes it look like he's coming up and then doesn't, and gets clipped. But I mean, no matter how you look at it, that was 100% Brad Keselowski's fault. He's the one running into him.
Yeah.
Just weird. I mean, we saw wrecks in the truck race too on the front stretch. We don't see those wrecks in the
Yeah,
middle of the front stretch often.
Xfinity Series race had one too entering turn one. Couple back marker cars, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Well, and you got to remember too, Eric. No practice going into a completely green track. I mean, it was on lap 13 that happened. So,
well, the other thing I think that you're seeing I don't know if you noticed, James, but Pocono's famous for the fanning out on the front stretch.
Yes.
And there was some of that, but there wasn't as much of that in that Cup Series race. And I think it's because with this package, they can't afford to go like that. They need to stay tucked up behind somebody on that straightaway. Yeah. And so you're going to see less of it, in which case you're going to see more of these accidents because there's just not as much room.
Yeah. Well, and I think what happens too is that inside lane has to compete with the outside lane.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you pick the outside lane as the leader, you're boxing in the guy behind you who has no choice but to push you. And everybody else will fan out below. And that's why the outside line really dominates at Pocono. So what you see happening in the Cup Series is these guys know these things, and that inside line is trying to stay tight. So you're getting a little bit of that effect there. Outside line was still obviously the best lane choice by far, but the Cup guys are going to try to narrow that gap wherever they can. They're going to look for those little advantages anytime they can get them.
Just looking through here, we're going to talk about him again in the next race, but fifth place finish for Ryan Blaney. A couple good races for him here at Pocono. You expect that. It's a good track for him. Mentioned Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch finishes sixth.
Won another stage.
Yeah. Yep. Tyler Reddick almost top 10. Bubba Wallace ran 14th in this one.
Bubba Wallace had a nice weekend. Very nice weekend for Bubba. Ricky Stenhouse too. Yeah, a good weekend for all those guys.
Yeah. Anything else with this one worth talking about?
I don't think so.
It is the fifth victory in 207 NASCAR Cup Series races for Alex Bowman. Third victory in 2021, James. 3 victories for Alex Bowman already.
His 3 wins. Yeah, I wanted to see. I was going to look really quick at how many laps he led in his 3 wins. He led 10 laps at Dover. He led 98 laps, he led 10 laps at Richmond, 98 laps at Dover, and 16 laps at Pocono to win those races. So just shy of, I guess a little bit over 100 so laps that he's led to win those 3 races. So pretty cool, I guess.
Hendrick Motorsports has tied their modern era record for the most consecutive NASCAR Cup Series wins with 6 straight victories set in 2007.
If only we knew what happened on Sunday to see if they broke that record. Oh, wait.
Yeah, right.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Exactly.
Yeah.
With that, Sunday, we went 25 more miles on Sunday, James. It was Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. And
boy, can you feel it.
Kyle back in victory lane, but not Kyle Larson.
Yeah. It was going to be
hold on. I got the soundboard back up this week, James.
Here it is.
There you go.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. Kyle finds his way back into victory lane. Yeah.
But I think the story of this race is the transmission issue with Kyle Busch. First of all, a great car all day, certainly competing for the win. Mid-race finds out that the car, first of all, it's popping out of 4th gear. He has to hold it into 4th gear. And then when they come to the pits, it will not come out of 4th gear. They try to, which I was panicking as a Kyle Busch fan, do not climb in the car and pop that thing out of 4th gear because it's never going to go back in.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to get it out of 4th gear. So they decided just to limp around and finish the race out. They had it to the point where they were timing coming off a pit road so they could come off a pit road and be up to full speed by the time the field took the green flag coming out of turn 3, which they failed at twice, I believe they said.
Yep.
Burnt the clutch out of the thing. Basically, if they would have had to have one more restart, wouldn't have been able to do it. But because they had transmission issues, because they were trying to time the restart
and getting extra gas,
they pitted 1 lap later than everybody else and had 1 more lap of fuel and managed to hold on when it went green the rest of the way to get the win. Just freaking incredible.
Yeah. Of all the stuff that Kyle's complained about over his career about the way he's lost races, this one, I feel like he's got himself a mulligan 10 times over with the way this one happened. What an incredible drive.
And the best part is Denny Hamlin would have won that race, but because Kyle was able to turn it up a lap earlier, Hamlin tried to turn it up a lap earlier, and ran himself out of fuel.
Couldn't
And then
match
come
him.
to find out after the fact that they may have been able to make it back around, but the risk was too great to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you run out of gas and turn one at Pocono, you're not making it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
no.
coasting a long way, man.
Yep.
So, yeah, what a drive! What a Kyle's Twitter today. He synced it up with Days of Thunder when they put into fourth gear and Days of Thunder. That was fantastic. Best tweet of the year so far from him. So yeah, just a incredible drive. A little bit of luck, but you got to have luck. I mean, heck, Alex Bowman had a little bit of luck on Saturday. So
Yeah.
and then to top it all off, Kyle Larson with a beat up nose, still finishes second in a backup car.
Yeah.
What a weird race. What a weird race.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see who do we have up. We had Brad Keselowski was up front. He had to pit.
Yep.
And then we had who the heck else had to pit for fuel? I know we mentioned Hamlin.
I mean, yeah, a lot of guys. I mean, it was Hamlin.
So basically it cycles back.
Byron,
ends up,
Byron.
Yeah, Byron. Yep.
I thought Byron was going to win this one. Honestly, I thought it was his day. He won stage 2, and I thought, well, this is going to be Bill's race, and well, that didn't happen.
So you have in the show notes, James, fuel mileage races equals fun ?
Yeah,
I want your opinion on it first. Do you think so?
Yes. Yeah, that was fun.
I agree 100%. I know a lot of people hate fuel mileage races, and maybe it's James because we grew up going to Michigan and we saw a lot of these.
Yeah.
And that was the only way races at Michigan sometimes were good, was because of fuel mileage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to do this every week.
No, every once in a while, it's a blast, man.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun seeing who can make it. And it's a real
you just don't know. And this, for once, James, so many times we get the TV likes to play up the can we make it, but they're so good at saving fuel now that 9 times out of 10 they know, and they can figure it out and manage. But this one, we actually had cars running out on the last lap, which is just awesome.
Yeah, that's always great. I remember Pocono when Stewart won. It was his first race, not the All-Star race, but his first win for Stewart Haas, and he was cutting it off in the corners. And that was just really cool to see. I just think fuel mileage races, there's so much strategy going in to what these guys have to do. And for Kyle, it was, being stuck in fourth gear was just the strategy that worked, is strategy by accident. But it was, I like it. Like you said, not every week, every once in a while, I'm totally for it. Absolutely.
I always wanted to be a race car driver because I wanted to sit in the car and drive a race car, but all the stuff that these guys have to do.
Did you see Blaney?
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So now we're getting to the point where we're going down the straightaway, and at certain parts of the track, we are closing a valve on the air intake on the window because it helps the aerodynamics of the car. These guys are shutting off cars under caution. Every caution, doesn't matter whether there's fuel mileage issues or not. They're always cutting off. I mean, you look at IndyCar, they've got to play with the fuel setting and the wing settings and push to pass and all. There's so much crap these guys all have to manage. No thanks, I'll just watch.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, man, it's so difficult. It's not just. Yeah, I was watching Blaney. I was like, that's a step too far. I don't know.
Yeah. But it must do something.
Yeah, I maybe a couple hundredths of a second. I don't know.
Didn't help him on fuel mileage.
Did not.
I don't know. He didn't run out of fuel though.
No.
Blaney gets 6th place finish in this one. I said we'd mention him again. Good race for him. But Bubba Wallace gets first top five for 23:11.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was there, which is awesome.
Yep. And texted him and said, I want more of those every week. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, if Michael's in attendance, and Eric, I'm getting excited for possibly having Michael in attendance at Michigan.
I know.
That could be a possibility.
I know, right?
That would be a lot of fun. But yes, that was very cool. Bubba. Yeah, man, 23:11. They needed that one. Great weekend.
So Bubba has a win at Michigan in the truck series. So maybe that would be a good race for, man. Can you imagine, James? We cover the Michigan race. Bubba gets his first win at Michigan, and MJ's sitting there in the
maybe we can get a one-on-one. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be good. Get a one-on-one with him. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. You were mentioning.
Go ahead.
You were mentioning. You just said his name again, but you're mentioning Blaney. I thought one of the fun parts of the weekend, a little bit of crossover from Saturday to Sunday, was the family rivalry between Blaney and Byron. So for those who don't know, William Byron and Ryan Blaney's sister are an item, I guess. And when they get upset with each other on the racetrack, the first thing I think of is, man, how's family dinner gonna go when that stuff's going on? But that, yeah, Blaney had a right to be angry with them. There's a lot of blocking going on. So
yeah, there was some
anyway,
anger there.
Interesting nugget from the race weekend.
Ryan Preece finishes 8th place, coming off a victory in the Truck Series last weekend at Nashville, so that's cool for him. Let's see who else.
Good run
Brad
for Reddick
Keselowski
again.
finishes 3rd.
Yep, Reddick again.
Yeah. Yep.
Suarez with Trackhouse. I mean, they not the best weekend, but top 15. Surviving and still having solid, beating some good drivers thanks to that fuel mileage. So
yeah,
good runs there too.
Definitely calmer race this one. We didn't have anything for Rex in this one, did we?
No crashes. They saved that for earlier in the day.
Right.
But yeah, Chase Elliott he had a weird day. I ended up 27th, just really not a factor. And then they had the, end of the race stuff happening, and it got messy. But
Justin Allgaier finishes 25th, subbing for Justin Haley. We'll talk about Haley in a minute.
Yeah. That was cool to see Justin back in the Cup Series running.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, this race definitely, a little bit calmer, but there was a lot going on, man. Boy, the end of that race I wasn't sure what was going to happen. It was all over the place.
James, I have a question for you, not to just completely throw this one on, but I'm looking at this 18th place finish with Matt DiBenedetto on a day that Penske drivers did well. If he doesn't make the playoffs, he's not back in this car next year, right?
There's other circumstances going on there. I don't know. I don't know if I'd bring him back. But
I mean, I love Matty, but I don't think he's proven himself. And he's got a new crew chief now. That didn't fix the problem. It's just not working.
Yeah, he's had his shots. So if they don't bring him back, I don't blame them at this point. Kind of the same thing with Eric Jones. Like, you've been in that seat for a little while here. If you're not getting it done, you're gonna have to move on. But Cindric going to the 2 is what looks like that's going to happen. So
yeah, everybody now is talking about that as it's fact that Keselowski is leaving, despite the fact we don't have an official announcement. I think at this point it's set in stone. Everybody knows it's happening.
Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah. Yep.
So that 2 car will be open. That might open things up for Matt, but I don't know, man. I think that Roger's looking for somebody else for that seat.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you go after? I mean, heck, I'll throw a name at you. Why wouldn't you see what Kurt Busch has going on, or or if you want to stay in the Ford camp, I guess Ryan Newman, if he wants to keep racing, you can bring in a veteran and see if you can get a little bit more performance with some Penske power with a with a vet.
Newman might be able to do something in that car. He's got the history with Penske.
I mean,
did he leave on good terms with Penske? I can't remember.
Well, he left for Stuart Haas. I think he did. But yeah, he left for Tony's opportunity. But yeah, that might be an interesting one. But if you want to go younger, obviously there's plenty of Ford drivers you can try to pick and choose which one you want to stick in there. But yeah, that's going to be interesting, silly season to watch. That's a pretty good seat. Yeah. Considering, I mean, it's a satellite of Penske, so you're getting pretty good stuff. And then going in next year with a new car, maybe you do want to hang on to Matt DiBenedetto one more year. I don't know. Give him another shot.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We had 2 other races this weekend, James. We started things out Saturday with the Truck Series and the CRC Brake Lean 150. John Hunter Nemechek battles it out with the boss Kyle Busch and comes out on top. Does the bow afterwards on the front stretch because John Hunter beat him this year. Won more truck races than Kyle did.
Yeah, he did
in the head-to-head. So
yep, Kyle's last race of the season. Kyle was really, really upset on pit road, just completely. I thought that was going to be his entire weekend until he finally won on Sunday. He was very sassy on pit road after the race. He was not.
Well, he doesn't like to lose in his own equipment, and then Sheldon Creed getting into him is. Yeah, I can't blame him for being upset. That's a Kyle Busch thing. Like, don't screw up my race for us both to lose. I remember him PO'd at Brian Vickers at MIS several years ago with an Xfinity Series race as well. Yeah. Nationwide at the time for the same thing. Don't screw up my race for the win to race for second. If you're going to beat me.
Sheldon could have passed him. I think Sheldon saw a chance to possibly get up there quicker to get a win and took a chance. He didn't wreck Kyle. So
no,
I'm okay with aggressive moves if you don't wreck the guy. So
I have a question for you.
Tough one. Yeah.
John Hunter Nemechek, he's won 5 races so far in the Truck Series this year.
Yeah.
We kind of expected him to come down here, likely race for the championship, if not win the championship, win a bunch of races. Toyota's kind of got the pipeline's kind of full right now.
Yeah.
If you're John Hunter Nemechek, what do you do at this point? I'd imagine Kyle's happy with him winning in this truck. He's got to get another shot next year. Do you stay in this truck and keep your name on there in a winning ride? Keep reminding people that you're there.
Yeah.
Do you try to look for something with somebody else? Is there an opportunity somewhere? Where do you go?
Yeah, I think you know my opinion that I'm not in favor of him coming all the way back to the trucks to do what he's doing. I mean, he's doing what
he did. I mean, maybe what he wanted to do. His name is now at the top of everybody's conversation.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
And you look at I was listening to again DBC today. You look at Cole Custer, you look at Chase Briscoe. Nobody's talking about them right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're in the Cup Series struggling.
Yeah, but who's getting more valuable seat time? John Hunter Nemechek winning these races, or those guys racing against the best in the world in the Cup Series?
I don't know. The answer to that is yet to be determined.
That's always I mean, Cole Custer's got a Cup Series win.
So he just beat one of the arguably best drivers there is in his own equipment. So, I mean, he's still getting some experience down there.
Right, but he's not racing, 20 other guys who have just as good equipment. He's racing one. Yeah, I mean that's my problem with what John Hunter's done is his name's up there, but where's he going to go?
I have less of an issue with him doing what he's doing than I do with Kyle doing what Kyle does, because at least John Hunter's racing for the championship. At least he's all in.
Yeah,
Kyle who's just coming down in to collect paychecks and wins.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that the rule limiting Kyle Busch is irritating too. So
yeah, well, John Hunter's winning all these races in the Truck Series, but you put Ty Gibbs in that truck, he's doing the same thing. So true. I mean, I would rather see John Hunter, if he's going to take a step back, go to the Xfinity Series and do something there. But I mean, you're right, Eric. He's doing what he's supposed to do. This was the plan: go down, win the races, win the championship, get your name out there. But there's nowhere to go for Toyota. Maybe he's in the 21 car next year. He's got to look.
If you're Roger Penske, that's not a bad place to look, is it?
Yeah, it's a good future. It's kind of leaning in on your future a little bit. You got a younger guy.
Place to look, actually.
Yeah, so I mean that's a great opportunity. If he can make the leap back to Cup, then this move will be worth it. I just feel like he's lost a valuable season. But again, Eric, we're going into a new car next year, so that seat time this year is as valuable as normal. I struggle with that, because I think maybe John Hunter has a point here too, where it's like this getting experience with this current car doesn't do anything for me next year when we got a next gen car coming in. So
if he stays in the Toyota pipeline, short of Toyota flipping another manufacturer, which there's rumors of, or flipping another team to their manufacturer, there is rumors that that's going to happen with a major team. Not really sure which major team that is. I certainly have speculation, but not anything set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
But short of that, there's nowhere for him to go. I would imagine 2311 is going to add a team.
He's got a relationship.
They're not putting him in the car.
Right. Well, he's got a relationship with Ganassi. I think that's, he's raced there before, and they may have a seat. So there's opportunity there possibly. So, I don't know if they're the Toyota team.
I think that one car opens up. It might be the place for John Hunter.
Could be.
Yeah.
You know how much I love silly season. So we could stick guys wherever you want and see. It'll sound
they're all going to 2311. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
That's right. Whoever's got who's ever got the charter.
Yep. All right. Speaking of those charters, $10 million is the going rate supposedly for those charters.
That's what Mr. Junior said. Yeah. And he's not bringing his team up for those.
Nope. $10 million, man.
$10 million. Hey, you know what, Eric? I know
they were giving those things away in Cracker Jack boxes a couple years ago.
I know. You and I were on the same page with. I don't know if we like this charter system, but if teams are able to sell those,
we should have picked a couple up as better than Bitcoin.
Well, I know that's what Spire did. Spire just gobbled them up. I think Spire saw the future, and they're gonna make a nice little profit off those bad boys.
Well, they already have, apparently. Yeah, $20 million.
I know. and if you lease one, you can drag that. And I don't know, what do you lease them for? I don't know, $8 million a year or something, and you lease them along for a couple of years. You can make even more with them. That's kind of an interesting system now.
Yeah,
we got something here.
I guess so. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we got all these teams that want to come into the sport and they can't fit because there's all the charters. But
because the dang charters. Yeah.
yep. Anything else with the truck race, James? I think we covered it. We spent
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
pretty
time
much
on
it. John Hunter kicked everybody's butt, and Kyle got mad.
Yep.
That's usually how the truck series reviews
start. That's the story of the truck series this season, but no
That's
more,
right.
not the rest of the season because Kyle's done for this.
Kyle's
season.
done. Yeah, that's right.
The Xfinity Series was the other race of the weekend. The Pocono Green 225 recycled by JP Mascaro and Sons, competing for the longest race name of the season. Austin Cindric gets the win. Ty Gibbs comes home in second place. James notes he has no weaknesses, ? I think that's kind of the case with him. That kid is just good.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs. He doesn't have to win to do anything anymore. He's man every
Speaking
week.
of guys in the pipeline, man, how long you keep him down before you've got to move him up somewhere?
He's got to run a full season next year, and then we'll see.
That's it. I mean, if he runs the full season next year and does anything what he's doing this year, he's got to be in Cup the following year, right?
Well, if you're Harrison Burton, what do you think of all this? Because I mean, your Harrison Burton's pretty dang good, and has run really well, but Ty Gibbs is lighting the world on fire with these starts. So
yeah.
I don't know. I guess if does Ty leapfrog him or do they come up at the same time? There's just not a lot of, when does Martin Truex retire? I guess
Hey, maybe this is why Denny Hamlin's got a picture of a 2311 fire suit on his Instagram with his name on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that nonsense anymore.
Freaking Twitter or Instagram troll.
He is trolling. Yeah.
I think the story of this race, though, the Justin Haley hit coming out of turn 3 gets turned in the inside wall.
Big one.
James, I don't know who the engineers or the drunk uncles that they have working at Pocono designing this racetrack, but this place has had some of the worst hits we've ever seen in motorsports, not just NASCAR.
Yeah.
And every time they design something to fix it, it feels like they make it worse.
Yeah, they put a ricochet in there.
Thankfully, we have a safer barrier here now, but it's also about a quarter of the distance that the wall used to be from the racetrack.
Yeah.
So now when you hit it, you shoot right back out in front of the racetrack. We saw this happen in IndyCar a couple of years ago, last time IndyCar raced here. Yep. And we got to see it in the Xfinity race. And thank God it took, 3/4 of the field before somebody ran into them. But geez, oh man.
Cool. It's like at Michigan, for example, if you put a wall like 20 feet off the apron on the backstretch there, it could get pretty dicey, but you have a lot of pavement runoff and cars have a chance to lose speed. At Pocono on that back straightaway, there's no, I mean, you're like a super ball in a shoebox.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go and you're just ricocheting off everything.
Did you just come up with that all on your own?
No, I stole that one.
I was so hoping you came up with that one on your own.
No, I wish I was that clever.
We had the Steve Park accident way back with Dale Jr. where he got in the guardrail and went flipping. And then Pocono said, you know what? We're not going to have that anymore. We're not going to have cars going through the guardrail. Let's build a dirt embankment behind the guardrail so that when a car hits it, it doesn't move. And then Elliott Sadler about tore his car in half.
Yeah.
In the most famous crash that we've never seen.
Yeah. Yeah. We've only seen like bits and pieces of it.
Right. And there's been at least 3 YouTube videos that have tried to reenact it. And
the first really big one was Davey breaking his wrist in his championship season campaigin in 92.
Well, and we've had cars go through the old boilerplate wall. We had Dale Earnhardt about fly out of the tunnel turn back in the day.
Yeah, Dave Marcus had a really big one. I mean, hell, Bubba Wallace had one. Jeff Gordon's had a big one.
This place, I tell you, it's like Kansas and just triggering huge wrecks. And then again, it's not just the Cup Series. We've had a couple horrific IndyCar accidents here. We've had a fatal IndyCar accident, which was just a freak thing with Justin Wilson. We had Hutchins hit the fence. Hutchins, right? No, Wickens. Robert Wickens.
Robert Wickens. Yeah.
And still recovering from that. I mean, geez, oh man, this place. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild.
I joke about the engineers at Pocono. I don't think it's entirely Pocono's fault. It's just the nature of a big track. But
yeah, well, you got.
I do feel like we probably should have put that safer barrier a little bit further from the racing surface.
Yeah, it's that place is. I mean, you're just going so fast, and it's
a 2.5 mile racetrack.
Yeah, and it's hard to turn there. So
and then you take corners. It's already tough to turn a 90-degree turn, and now it's a triangle, so there's only 3 of them. So all the turns are sharper than 90 degrees,
right?
And so you're going to hit the wall harder when you hit the wall on the outside of a turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thankfully, Justin Haley's okay. Did miss the Cup Series race as a result, just for precautions, but he talked to everybody after the race and he was good. So
Yeah. Yeah. And Ryan Vargas, yeah, he was the unlucky guy. I
Yeah.
mean, great driving by the guys to get away from it. He just had nowhere to go.
no, I mean,
And
eventually
just
somebody was going to
pounded
hit him.
Yeah, and just pounded him, which is too bad.
Yeah, bummer for Vargas. First of all, it's an underfunded team, so they can't afford to tear up race cars, and also some sentimental value with that race car being
Yeah.
the last one prepared by a gentleman that passed away. So
Yeah.
just an all around bummer. So
Yeah, I like Ryan Vargas. I really, he's
Yeah.
just kind of a different type of personality that I think, kind of a Bubba Wallace type where he's just got a really big personality that I think would be really great to see in a bigger spotlight. So hopefully he continues to progress forward as he goes along. But yeah, he's a good young driver, just wrong place, wrong time this weekend.
Yep.
And hopefully he gets another shot. He'll be driving again and get another shot at continued good runs for him.
Yep.
I was gonna say, Eric,
go ahead.
Who was the young buck for JR Motorsports, Sam Mayer? He was kind of a dart with no feathers for a little bit out there, but rallied and he's gonna be running a lot more races for Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, he's running that car the rest of the season.
Supposed to be the next big thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Supposedly, yeah, we got our first look at him. I mean, he's young. Apparently, the pre-race broadcast said he's got a little bit of a rivalry with Ty Gibbs. Which, hey, if we got these two young guys coming in at the same time, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I'd love to see some young bucks. Eric, he was born in. Wait, he just had a birthday, yeah. So he was born in 2003. 2003.
That's
man.
insane.
Oh my God, I was just about to graduate high school.
James, I have another hot take for you.
Let's hit it.
So I never discussed my hot take on the podcast because I did it off air and just to rile you up. But my take a couple of weeks ago is that
you've always got hot takes.
The take a couple of weeks ago is the one that Jenna Fryer tackled with AP. That the reason that Stuart Haas is struggling is because Tony Stewart is too distracted with SRX.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to debate that on here because I already debated that with James and got him all riled up and got it out of his system. So it won't be any fun to debate it here.
Yeah.
This one's not really a debate, but here's a new hot take on the struggles of Stuart Haas. Stuart Haas is struggling this season because they have to spend so much time rebuilding cars from Eric Almirola and Riley Herbst wrecking cars this season. Riley wrecks another one in this race.
Riley is, Riley came up through the Kyle Busch pipeline, so he's there's a lot of guys familiar with his wrecking of cars. Yeah, he's having a hard time.
He's throwing some stuff up.
Yeah, that car was a championship contender with Chase Briscoe. And we know how talented Chase Briscoe is, but it's definitely a different driver in there. But you're not wrong there. I'm not going to debate you on that one. You can have it. You can have that one.
Harrison Burton also wrecks in this one, finishes 37.
Yeah,
just not a good season for him.
Yeah, he's having a weird season. He's just having a weird season. I wouldn't put it past him to have a good run this weekend at Road America, but yeah, he's just having weird runs. It's been weird for him. I go back to looking over his shoulder. Maybe there's something to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk some news. Not a whole lot this week after a crazy busy news week last week.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, it is early still. We did go a day later last week.
Yeah.
But NASCAR and iRacing announced a new official partnership. I find it interesting that NASCAR.com, like they almost know something, has the Chicago Street Course as the header picture for this article.
Yeah.
New partnership that basically grants the simulator title or simulator whatever
official partner
company, official simulation partner of NASCAR.
Yeah.
So cool. Good. We like iRacing. We like NASCAR. I think they've been a pretty good match. I think we've proven that during the pandemic, especially. Yep. Good on them.
We'll see more. We'll see more from the iRacing series, and I think we'll see more. I think we'll see more development stuff out of them too. If NASCAR's got ideas for things, I think you're going to see it on iRacing first. Yeah. See how it runs.
I'd be really interested to see if they work more. Right now the manufacturers all have their simulators and stuff, and they're not iRacing. I wonder if iRacing will tap into that stuff. And who knows? who knows? Then Ryan Blaney looking like he's gonna have a new crew chief. Well, he's definitely gonna have a new crew chief in
He is
2022.
definitely. Yeah.
Because Todd Gordon ain't gonna be there. Todd Gordon is retiring from Team Penske at the end of 2021.
Todd Gordon, great crew chief and a great personality too. I'm looking forward to seeing possibly if he can maybe make a run at TV. Possibly. I don't know.
Hey, I hear there's an opening at Fox.
There is an opening at Fox. You're right. Yes.
I mean, just saying.
I'll tell you what, man. Steve Letarte is so freaking good on NBC right now. I just can't get enough of how much insight he brings to the broadcast.
Did they not do an incredible job of covering the fuel mileage situation at the end of that race?
I mean, you got two guys who've done it, Letarte and Earnhardt Jr. were really good at it. So
it was so good. It's just such a breath of fresh air to have NBC right now.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm telling you, Rick Allen's not my favorite in the world, but I think Rick Allen went to school over the off season. He feels like he's doing a little less of his one-liners, and
he was good on that Larson call. He was good at that Larson call. Yeah.
He's reminding, Rick Allen was good in the Truck Series, and then I think he came to Cup and just tried too hard. And I don't know, maybe Fox has just made me appreciate him more.
Possibly.
I've not had an issue with Rick Allen because I've always liked him. I just felt like there were better options. And I don't know, I guess I'm hearing Alan Bestwick every week right now, and Bestwick's great. Yeah, I'm also not going like, oh my God, I just gotta have Bestwick back in the Cup booth. He's doing a good job, but
Bestwick's voice he's just good at it. He's just really good at it. We should know Todd Gordon is a champion crew chief in this series with Joey Logano 2018. But he's been really good for a long time. Hasn't been a crew chief for I guess really long time is take it for what it's worth. But 10 years as a crew chief in Cup, 23 wins, a lot of them with Joey Logano, but he's won obviously a few with Ryan Blaney as well. And looking at his Xfinity Series stats, he's crew chief some pretty interesting cats. Eric, I'll throw some names at you just for fun. He crew chiefed a young up and comer who was supposed to replace Mark Martin. You want to try to guess who he was?
Brad Keselowski?
No. 2006, Todd Cleaver. Remember Todd
Cleaver?
Cleaver?
I remember Todd Cleaver. Yes.
He was supposed to be the guy to replace Mark Martin, and that didn't happen. He did crew chief for Kenny Wallace. He crew chief for Scott Legacy Jr., Kurt Busch, Sam Hornish, Parker Kligerman, just to name a few in the Xfinity Series. But been a good Cup crew chief for quite a bit. So there you go. Do that. That was fun.
Nice. All right, let's talk. That's it for news. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing else.
I'll check the Twitters.
Let's talk some SRX racing, James. We're at that point in the show. Probably should move these up above the news, maybe. I don't know. But SRX went to Eldora Speedway this week. Tony Stewart gets the win at his home track in his home series, or his own series. Or not his home track, his own track in his own series.
His track, his series.
The way it should be. House. However, James, I'm quite certain we could race tricycles at Eldora and it'd be a good race.
I was thinking that. I was actually going to say shopping carts. Yes.
My God, this track is awesome.
Eric, didn't you get the feels watching that race? I mean, they looked like dirt cars a little bit more than they did at
I think I bought into this series more in this race than I have yet. And I think it's because of Eldora, not because of the series. And I don't know. I was so optimistic about the trucks at Knoxville, but now after seeing this, I'm a little less optimistic because this race was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, man, you can run anywhere. The track was just beautiful.
Yeah.
They did a great job preparing it.
Yeah. And smoke going up high really added to it. And the driver drama was good.
I'm liking that it's coming. I like that it's every week because these guys don't have time to cool off.
Wait till we get to Slinger. To Slinger, and Paul Tracy's out there just dive bombing people.
I can't.
It's really great. My beefing with
bought
Paul
in,
Tracy.
James. You win. I know you didn't respond to my comment when I put it in our group text, probably because you're saving it for gloating on this podcast. But you win. This is a compelling series. I'm tuning in next week to see what happens. I like it, even with the names that are in it. If we had bigger names, I'd be more excited about it.
It's totally fun, man. It's just fun.
There's room for improvement, tons of room for improvement, but it's a great series.
It's a lot of fun. I have a blast watching this series, and the fact that it was Eldora.
It's something new. It feels like, to me, it's like Supercross. It's just something different, and it's fun.
Yeah, I like watching these big motor cars on dirt. I like the personalities we've got. I think we should give a lot of credit to CBS for how they're promoting this show and what they're doing with the broadcast. You've got Brad Daugherty, he's great. Lindsay Zarniak's great. And then, of course, you had Bestwick in the booth, but the biggest improvement was Danica was gone, and we had Hinchtown.
Yeah.
And I think James Hinchcliffe was phenomenal in the booth. And then you've got the fact that he's talking to Tony Stewart while the race is going on.
That was like, excellent.
Yes, I was like, wow, what a cool trick.
Not only that, but Tony was like, he was just cruising along on the highway, no problem.
I couldn't imagine. Driving Eldora in a video game is hard enough. And Tony's Tony's just like, hey, I'm going to set your boy up right here. Give me another lap. Hold on. And sure enough, he did it. Yeah, it was good. And Tony pulled the trick, and I'm not going to be a complete homer for Tony Stewart here. He did this before and nobody else has brought it up, but in the prelude to the dream, Tony started in the back on purpose to try to, make the show a little bit more interesting. And he pulled that trick again on Saturday. He says he had an electrical problem. I do not believe that. I believe he started the feature in last on purpose to see if he could get through. And he did. So he's just good on dirt, man. He's, he knows that place better than anybody. So
well, it's his track. He probably has more laps there than anybody at this point.
Him and who else would you put up there? Schatz and maybe Bloomquist. Bloomquist probably has more laps than anybody there. He would have been fun to have seen race this race, but
James, I'm disappointed we're done with dirt for the SRX series.
Yeah, but we still got Slinger coming up, which isn't dirt, but it's got me
might as well be
intrigued. Yeah, it's got me super intrigued. I think people are really going to be excited about that. But yeah, we're heading to Lucas Oil this week, and it's probably not going to be as good of a show, but
Lucas Oil just, to me, is not a great track. I mean, it's better than watching Xfinity and trucks on the big Indianapolis track, but it's still just not a great track to me.
Eric, we touched on this in our group chat today too, but 1.3 and change million viewers for SRX. CBS has to be ecstatic for a Saturday night to get that many viewers on their network.
I would say that's a win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wasn't expecting them to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't expecting them to get 1 million viewers a week, and they've been well over 1 million viewers every race on a Saturday night.
You know what, James? So here's the thing. They're in, and it's easy for them to do this. They're in a different situation, and I'm going to compare them to NASCAR. And I keep saying don't compare them to NASCAR because you shouldn't, because they're not.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. By the way, I'm just
and neither am I. But you have to in this instance. So NASCAR, when they make a change, it's a big deal. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of companies, corporations, things that are bought into that series that changes have to go through before they can do them. Whereas SRX is a brand new series. It's just them. They can change whatever they want to change, but they've listened to the fans. They've made adjustments over the first 3 races to make it more fan friendly. The biggest complaint I had was the fact that I couldn't tell who was who. They put the names nice and big on the cars, added more color to them. They're in the same color every week. They've just done a good job of doing what they need to do.
Fan service. Yep.
And I mean, they kind of fixed the stupid caution, and Alan Bestrick kind of apologized for it last week for calling it the fun caution or whatever. And I mean, they've done a good job with it. It's a good partnership all around. I can't complain about it.
Do you think NASCAR's got their eye on what's going on here to see what they can, I don't know.
They better.
Stealing's not the right word, but NASCAR is at all times trying to do fan service, and they do it in such a convoluted way that it turns out to be we end up hating it, right?
Well, and here's the thing though, James, is like, okay, so SRX is not designed to compete with NASCAR,
right?
But if SRX gains traction and gains buy-in, you never know. And NASCAR's got to keep an eye on that because it could become competition down the road.
Well, man, I mean, you've got a lot of crossover fans, but you don't have every crossover fan in that million some odd group, but there's interest here and fans seem to like it, and there's a really solid attendance numbers at the track too, which has been good.
I'd be curious to know what IROC used to do in the ratings, because IROC ran on ABC. It was on network.
I'd say it was probably bigger, but you'd have to skew for the times because
well, that's what I'm wondering, because we weren't quite in the heyday of of NASCAR racing yet,
Yeah.
but I think we had more fans than we have now watching TV and stuff because there wasn't as much to choose from.
I mean, you had Earnhardt running too, which was, he was always a draw too. So
Yeah.
that's but I don't know. Well, Eric, we're gonna have to finish this off. We're gonna have to go the next 3 weeks and talk about the series.
We will.
Because
We will.
It's been good enough. So
We will, for sure, James, if you do the notes, just add it right up there underneath the rest of the race.
So, we're bumping it up.
We'll bump it up.
Holy cow, we're bumping it up into the primetime slot.
Yeah,
oh man,
let's do it.
Oh wow, and that's you making the call, not me.
It is me making the call. It is.
Eric, this is how this always goes. You always end up saying, James, you were.
Hey, I gave in pretty early this year though. It took me 2 races to really start to buy into it, and by the third one I'm in. So
yeah, well, Eldora
I'm not replacing NASCAR with it, but okay. So here's the deal. Let me tell you how compelled I am with this series, James. And this was before this race.
Yes.
So Saturday, I don't remember what the heck I did Saturday, but I was all over the place on Saturday. Busy day. Didn't watch the Cup race until like 9:00 at night. I went to bed and watched SRX, turned it on, figured, well, I'll watch it until I get tired enough to shut it off. And I watched it all the way through.
Yep.
And watched it till it was done. And it was 1, 2 in the morning by the time I was done. But it was worth watching. So,
and it's a quick broadcast too, Eric. I tune in at.
Well, and it really helps to watch it delayed because you can skip all that intermission stuff.
Exactly, and that's what I wish I could do. But I turn on live. I watch it at 8, and I'm done by 10. I'm done before 10, and that's really nice.
I can barely do the Cup races live, man. I just hate commercials with a passion. It's so nice. Even side by side, I think side by side is the greatest thing in the world. But I skip it. I just jump right through it, just like anything else. So. The only reason I watch races live anymore is because of fantasy. And after this week, I've determined that I don't give a crap about fantasy again.
Yeah.
So I'm back to watching races.
And my theory as to why that is, if you weren't so terrible at it, right?
I won't argue with you. I'm god awful at it. James, and I said before that we did the show, the reason I'm bad at it is because I'm good at picking. I can pick winners, although you're still proving to beat me on that right now too. But no, because
not for much longer.
It's the middle of the race. That's what's killing me. It's the points during the race. I don't do well with that.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't pay attention during the middle of the races a lot of times. I drift off and do other stuff. So
I know.
Anyway, speaking of that, we go to Road America this weekend, James. We get to do our picks for that Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series is there as well. And I wanted to throw out a little bit of a tidbit of information because I've already heard people talking about the first Cup race at Road America.
Mm-hmm.
And we will hear a lot of talk this weekend about this being the inaugural race at Road America for the Cup Series, but that's not true. The NASCAR Grand National Series, which is now known as the Cup Series, raced once at Road America in 1956. So here's some facts about the one race that the Cup Series ran at Road America. Buck Baker started on the pole, led the first 5 laps of the race. Tim Flock passed him on lap 6 and would lead twice for 17 laps, including the last 10 to win the event. Marvin Ponch led 23 laps before breaking a rear end and retiring, and Speedy Thompson led 18 laps before blowing a motor. The race ended with just 5 drivers on the lead lap out of the 26-car field, and winner Tim Flock would take home a whopping $2,950 for his victory. This all courtesy of Racing Reference.
Yes, the podcast would not be possible without our friends at Racing Reference.
No, we would die. It would be over.
Racing Reference and J-Ski. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great nugget. Survive. I honestly didn't know about this, so that was good.
I stumbled across it by accident a few weeks ago, and I could not wait for this weekend because I keep hearing people talk about the first, and it is not the first Cup race.
It is not. It's only been, 70 years. So,
right.
Yeah, awesome.
As a matter of fact, the configuration was different because the distance to the track is different and everything, but whatever. There was a race there.
It's a big one, man. Big track.
So we start things off with the Xfinity Series first. Let's look at the picks from last week. James came out of the weekend with, I don't know how many points because we had 2 races. So I'm not going to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Either way, James still leads me 18-15 to 17-98. So I am getting closer.
You're chipping away at it. Yeah.
Chipping away, but I still get to make the first pick this week. And James has already chosen, but I don't know if he's going to keep his picks.
Well, we'll see.
He's already made his picks based on my picks that I had to, that I made last week because I can't pick those drivers. He's probably hoping that I don't pick AJ Allmendinger for the Xfinity Series race.
Maybe.
And leave him open so he doesn't have to take Austin Cindric because I cannot pick Austin Cindric. Yep. And I almost did it. I almost said, you know what? that Noah Gragson is bound to have a race that he doesn't screw up. And
Ah.
maybe he'll win on this track, but no, I'm going to go AJ Allmendinger.
You
Sorry.
can't. Yeah, you got to. So last year, just for reference, we did race Xfinity here last year. I will take Austin Cindric running second that day, AJ Allmendinger, and then Chase Briscoe, Kaz Grala, Andy Lally, and your boy Noah Gragson. So there you go. That's
Gregson's a sneaky good guy at road courses, but he does stupid things.
Stepped on my ding dong there.
And then screws up. Which is kind of a story everywhere right now. But what was I going to say here? There was something else I was going to say.
Well, there's going to be some Cup guys in this race.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That it's really tough to go to Racing Reference and look at history here because there's so much Cup history here.
Yes,
so many Cup drivers have starts here in the Xfinity Series and dominate the top of the board because they ran one or two races here.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see Kyle Busch in the 54, which is going to bump Ty Gibbs to the 81, which is will be the first time he's driven that car. So we've got a lot of, I think, isn't Harvick running this weekend too?
Possibly.
I got to look at the entry list because that would definitely make me not sound as dumb as I do right now as I filibuster. So let's see. Let me look at the entry list. Here we go. It's not on Racing Reference just yet. So, but I do know. I do know that. So we've got maybe it's on J-Ski. Oh, what the heck? Racing Reference letting me down for the first time, Eric.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're stalling because I am still trying really hard to decide my Cup Series pick because I don't want to just pick the same guy I pick at every road course. But he's also the same guy that wins at every road course.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of hard not to pick him.
Right. Yeah, I saw the Cup entry list. Let me find.
I can go on. Let me go on Racing.
I'm going to
NASCAR Media.
I'm going to J-Ski right now too to see
if it's not on NASCAR Media. It doesn't exist. So
there we go. I've got it on. I've got it on Racing. On J-Ski. Let me see who we got for the Cup Series. If I can throw some names at you. Oh man. Oh, Natalie Decker's running this one. That'll be fun. Kaz Grala is in this race, so watch out for that. He's going to be right there. Yeah, Kyle Busch, Boris said. Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick running the 199, which it'll be the 99, but it's listed as the 199 for BJ McLeod. Harvick is in this one, and that is it for the Cup guys so far. I don't see any other ones on there. So
and we do qualify for both races, don't we?
Yeah, we have practice too.
Yeah.
So
I know the Cup Series do.
Yep.
Okay. With that was the Henry 180, by the way.
The Henry 180. Yep.
Road America, and then the Cup Series will make their first start in 70 some years with the Jockey Made in America 250. And I'm not doing it, James. I'm not picking Chase Elliott. So I might be leaving him open for you. I just don't want to do it. And I'm just going to say that, I don't know, somebody's going to have some retribution for this past weekend. And Denny Hamlin's going to get it done.
Wow.
I think Denny Hamlin's going with his first win this season. He's going to do it on the road course.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
Terrible pick, isn't it?
Nah. Well, hey, you locked it in. So I'll take it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Terrible pick. I'm gonna regret that. I'm gonna be kicking myself.
I'll take the best road course racer for the season so far, and that's Kyle Larson.
Okay.
I'll just see if he can get it done again, but I'm probably making a mistake not taking Chase Elliott.
Well, at least you didn't pick Chase, and I'll feel less bad.
I still feel like Kyle Larson's on a hot streak. I
think so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take him when I can get him here and see if I can make up some of that ground from this weekend.
See, I really like Martin Truex Jr., but he just hasn't been doing anything lately.
Yeah.
And Denny he's been there.
Yeah.
So I just feel like maybe that's the way to go.
Well, Cindric isn't going to be in this race. Allmendinger is going to be in this race. Briscoe's going to be in this race. Obviously.
Briscoe's going to be in this race. Kyle Busch is going on road courses. Their DBC guys were talking about it being an aggressive race in the Cup Series. So guys like Kyle are going to do well here.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney's good on road courses. So I don't know. Harvick's good on road courses. There's a lot of opportunities here. You never know which way it's going to go. We're going to see.
So. Yeah. Somebody might steal it or somebody might be able to get themselves a playoff.
Chase Elliott's just going to win it. I can't believe
Probably.
I can't believe I picked Denny Hamlin. What the hell was I
That was an interesting one. I didn't see that coming.
Stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's talk about Fantasy League, James. I'm not even pulling it up, so it's all you, man.
I'll keep it quick, my man. So Pocono Saturday, Freight Train, our buddy Todd, he gets the win by 10 over Barron Speedway and Denny the Many. Eric, we were I mean, it was close, but we were in the
Got beat.
back. Got beat. And then Sunday, Barron gets a second place and then a first place. Team Draftona second, and then Eric, there you are. You tied for second. So you didn't do as bad as you thought, man.
Yeah, I guess they must not have refreshed yet when I checked it on Sunday, because
you had a good day on Sunday.
I thought I had good picks and it was ranking me way down, so I must have clicked on
Sunday. Sunday got a little wild with the fuel mileage. Overall standings: Ranger still first. I am still second, and Fast to the Grass is third. We're starting to get a little bit of separation. I've gained on Ranger, and I've pulled away from the rest of the pack just a tick. So I'm kind of on an island here. But that being said, I'll screw everything up on Road America, and we'll all be under a blanket again. So there you go.
There you go.
Nice update.
All right. Shout outs this week. Got any, James? If you need to think, I got one.
Yeah, go for it. I've got one.
All right. So I'm gonna go with mine. My cousin Derek, actually my wife's cousin Derek, but he's my cousin now too. Got a chance to go to Eldora this weekend for the SRX race.
What?
And the most exciting thing about it for him was he has been a lifelong Bobby Labonte fan.
Oh,
and Derek was able to
nice.
get into the pre-race autograph session. He got to meet Bobby Labonte. Here he is on Instagram. Meeting Bobby Labonte. Very excited about it. First time he's ever met Bobby. Like I said, he's been a fan for years. He was a fan back when Bobby won his championship.
Nice.
And very excited to get to meet him. He said Bobby even recognized him later when he passed by him. And so that pretty darn cool. So
that is
always
really
good when you get to meet your hero. And he's a diehard Bobby Labonte fan, man.
That
Big
is
time.
that's really cool.
Like nobody cheered for Bobby Labonte, but Derek cheered for Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, my brother actually used to like Bobby when he was just a kid, but of course, that's neither here nor there. I wanted to shout out, this was kind of a tongue-in-cheek shout out. Everybody who did the joke of Kyle Larson on Saturday being Lightning McQueen in Cars, blowing his tire. You guys are all the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other doing that, including you, NASCAR account. Everybody did that joke, so that was overplayed, but well done to the person who originally came up with it. But that's it. Only the person who originally thought of it gets credit.
That's pretty funny, actually. I didn't even see it.
Oh, it's all over the place. Yeah, everybody's making the Kyle Larson is Lightning McQueen joke, so that was overplayed.
That's funny.
Yes, there you go.
What did NASCAR Chasm tweet this week? That was
there was another new Twitter account that I came across too called NASCAR Rumors, I think. Hold on, or old NASCAR Rumors, which was pretty funny.
NASCAR Chasm tweets too much.
It's at oldie_oldie rumor, and it's old NASCAR rumors, and it's actually pretty funny. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Casey Kane was going to make a 2020 return in the 04 truck, but the deal fell through. Like, this is the kind of tweets that are on here. Parker Kligerman was going to race for Stuart Haas. So it's new, but anyway, I thought I'd share that one.
Speaking of that, I didn't realize until, again, one of the reasons I love DBC is they drop little tidbits like they're just common knowledge, but none of us knew anything about them. Yes. And they dropped a tidbit this week that I did not know, that John Hunter Nemechek was lined up for a junior motorsports ride in the Xfinity series.
Oh,
and then he dumped Cole Custer at Mosport in the truck series, and it pissed off everybody at JRM, and he lost his ride.
That's an infamous dump.
Yeah, that was, to be fair, one of the greatest finishes in NASCAR history, in my opinion. I can't find the NASCAR Chasm tweet from this weekend because it's too far back, but it was really good. I don't remember.
That's awesome.
I love NASCAR Chasm. I know he gets old. He can wear on you, but man, is he good. You just don't follow him. You just don't read his stuff if you don't like it.
Yeah, just every once in a while he's going to give you a good nugget. So hang in there with him.
Yep. James, show and tell time.
Show and tell. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Since I always make you go first, I'll go first this week.
Okay.
So hidden in my parents' garage. I think I mentioned this on the show as well.
The infamous garage
is the infamous checkered flag that has been signed by a bunch of drivers. So here it is.
Look at that.
So the very first autograph on this flag started right here, and that is Derek Cope. And Since then, it has had a number of drivers added to it. John Krebs, who I believe was ARCA,
Yeah. Yep.
is on here. I don't know how he managed to make the flag, but my parents got a bunch of these autographs. So they were on garage tours. So they just kind of got whoever they got. There is a Brett Bodine autograph on here.
Oh, that's a good one.
Quaker State days.
Yep.
There is a Todd Bodine, number 75, when he was driving the 75 car.
Yep. Red, white, and blue.
There is a Bobby Labonte on here with the 22.
Oh yeah, Maxwell. Actually, that's part of my show and tell.
Nice.
Yes. There's a tie in there.
There is a Mark Martin, number 6 on here. I was there for that one. That was at a Meijer.
Nice.
Or no, I think it was a Walmart actually, or Kmart. Hut Strickland is on here, but he's
all that's a good name. That's
number 27. It was a McDonald's car at the time.
Yep, that's a good blast from the past.
There's a Ricky Rudd on here.
Oh, good one. Yep.
And then my absolute favorite, this was actually, we sent this with somebody to get this one. None of my family got this one. But my absolute favorite, right down here on the end, he didn't sign it like everybody else because he's got to be different. But old Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on there as well. There's awesome. Not a Dale Earnhardt Sr. autograph on this. I think I mentioned this in the podcast because my parents tried to get his autograph when he was climbing in the car, and guess what? Dale didn't want to sign at that time.
Right.
So
right.
There was a Rusty Wallace. There was a Rusty Wallace attempt. So this is a Rusty Wallace story. This is why my parents hated Rusty Wallace for years. Fortunately, a couple years ago, I got to shake Rusty's hand, which was pretty awesome. At Merritt Speedway, he was up there for an appearance. But Rusty, they were in the back of his hauler, gave him the flag. He had the flag, took the cap off the pen, put the pen to the flag, and goes, I don't have time for this. Give him the pen back and walks away.
That sounds like Rusty Wallace.
So there you go. All right, James, your turn.
Man. I'm changing mine on the fly. I was gonna do I'll save these for next time, but I was going to do the 1 and 144 die cast that I have.
Okay.
But I'm gonna save those for later. I did want to show you this one though, Eric, if you can see it. In honor of KFB. The first time the M&M's car ever ran in NASCAR was on Ernie Irvin's car in a special one-off in 1998. So I wanted to show you that one.
They're so much better designed now than they used to be. No offense to Ernie's paint schemes, but they were terrible.
But but this one was
the Skittle scheme was good.
This one was good. I thought this one
that one's not bad.
This one was good. This one was good. 98 M&Ms. So since you did autographs, I'm gonna make an audible here.
Okay.
And show you some of my autographs. Harry Gant.
Nice.
I used to get the pictures autographed back in the day. Robert Presley.
Oh, even better.
Those
are two good ones.
Bandit. Yeah, the old Skull Bandit.
Those Skull Bandit. You know, I'm not a tobacco person, but those Skull Bandit cars were sweet cars.
Oh man, they were so good. Let me find
all the good cars were tobacco cars. One of my favorite paint schemes, James. I've never told you this because I always forget about it. One of my favorite paint schemes is the Jimmy Spencer Noble number 23.
Oh yeah, the 23. Oh yeah, that was good. Eric, you brought up Derek Cope, but do you have a Derek Cope and Bobby Allison?
Oh, that is sweet.
And then right below it, this is probably the best one in the book.
Nice. I have that picture, but I do not have it autographed. I do have a Bobby Allison autograph. It is on my Daytona 500 ticket.
We've got Ricky Craven here.
Sweet. That's awesome.
What's a great car, isn't it?
That is the DuPont number 2 car for Ricky Craven was excellent.
Yes, I had a whole bunch.
Maybe better than the Rainbow Warriors car, James.
Probably. That's pretty good.
Rainbow's pretty iconic, but
Texas Terry, of course.
Nice.
So I had to bring a couple.
I assume these are all legit. You got the autograph?
Well, either me or my parents did.
Okay.
I did not get. Did you do the Jeff Gordon one?
Did you do like the trailer appearances at the track, or did you go to?
Yeah.
How did you get them?
Mostly from like not trailer appearances, but like special meet and greet type things that they used to have.
I always wondered because I mean we used to go to like Meijer or Kmart or somebody would do one and we'd go stand in line forever for it. Like that's how we met Bill Elliott. That's
where I've got my my Tony Stewart ones was those type of meet and greets.
Okay.
Eric, this is one more for you. Because you'll know who he is. Bob Snedeker.
Yes, Bob Snedeker.
Yeah.
I got all those ASA guys. I've since thrown away because I'm not a big autograph keeper. Generally I want a reason to just shake the guy's hand. And so the autograph is the way to do it because I can just, that's the way I can meet them. I just want to meet the person.
Yep.
But it's just weird to say, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. So you just have them sign an autograph instead because that's less awkward.
No, it was cool. You went autographs. I'm like, well, we got to do autographs. I got to show my autographs too. But I have some Tony Stewart ones. I'll show you some other time. But
one of the coolest autograph sessions I did was before the Truck Series race, when I went to Daytona in 2011, they did an autograph session in the fan zone, and most of the field was there. So I got to meet Matt Crafton that day, which was pretty cool. Crafton was wearing, actually, it's funny. I have these sunglasses right here. These are the electric BSG Bam Margera signature sunglasses. These are what Crafton wore at the time. He was sponsored by Electric.
Nice.
And I love these sunglasses. I was obsessed with them. So I saw him in the autograph session. I said, Matt, nice shades. And he didn't care.
Yeah.
But Ricky Carmichael was there, which is pretty awesome. I've been a fan of Ricky Carmichael for years in Supercross and stuff. Never got to meet him during Supercross, but got to meet him in the Truck Series. So that was neat.
Yeah.
Got to see Travis Quapple that day and a few of those guys. So
That's names flash from the past.
Yep. Very cool.
It's good stuff.
So, yeah, good way to end the show. See, the show and tell works at the end.
Show and tell does work at the end. I like it.
We'll keep that in there. So James, where can people find you on social media if they want to talk to you about the autographs you've gotten?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at TSuperSpeedway on Twitter. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/TheSuperSpeedway. If you go on there, you can find a couple past episodes that we live streamed. We won't be doing that all the time, but once in a while we'll do it, probably without announcements. So just keep an eye on that on Tuesday nights. It's usually when we record. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can go there to find old episodes of the podcast, links to the show notes, which has links to articles we discussed, past race coverage, hopefully future race coverage, photos, all that stuff. James, I just got a brand new camera.
I saw that.
And so I'm really looking forward to Michigan, hoping I can do the photo credentials again and at least get some pre-race stuff. Probably won't shoot the race itself, but shoot some pre-race, which would be pretty cool. So that stuff will all be on there when we get it as well. You can find the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you found us today. We hope you subscribe and continue to listen. And if you want to check us out in video form, because I don't know, you have nothing better to do and want to watch us, that's just weird, guys. No, I'm just kidding. You can do that on YouTube. Search for Dream Bigger Media on YouTube. You'll find the podcast on there. You might be able to search the Super Speedway podcast on there as well. It's in a playlist on Dream Bigger Media. So check us out there. I don't have a special fancy link for that, but you can find it in the show notes if you want to go there and check it out. So that'll usually get uploaded on Wednesday-ish or whenever I actually remember to do it. So with that, we head to Road America this weekend, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. According to the DBC guys, they know how to party up there in Wisconsin. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of that this weekend. Practice, qualifying, all that jazz, the Xfinity Series and Cup Series in action. Got to wait a couple weeks before we see the Truck Series back. We'll be back next week to break it all down and talk about who gets the first win in 70 some years in the Cup Series at Road America. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.